Confirmation bias. What is confirmation bias? Confirmation bias is once you have did a emotional attachment, or once you have made a decision to something, you have an emotional attachment to that decision, and you are consistently, your brain is consistently looking for ways to affirm the decision you just made. That is confirmation bias. Now in trading, you see that in, okay, if you interpret that the market's going to go up, so you enter into a long or enter into a call, however you trade, you buy. Anytime either it does a retracement or it goes against you, your brain will automatically put blinders on, but look for reaffirming events to affirm your beliefs in your position. Now, of course, I don't even have to go into, the reason why this is not optimal for your trading is because you're not seeing the trading for what it is. You are seeing the trading for what you want it to be. You're not seeing the market for what it is. You're not seeing the market for what it's telling you. And you're not seeing the market for what the market sentiment is showing you. You're playing your position. You're not playing what the market is telling you. You're playing your position. I'm getting ahead of myself. But look, but you're playing your position. You're not actually looking at what is going on in the market. You are judging and basing everything subjectively of how it makes you feel. So how can we get out of this? How do we need to break this? First step, first rule, one thing that we can do is pre-decision framing. Pre-decision framing, before you are actually getting into the trade, come up with reasons why your trade will not work. Come up with reasons why your trade will not work, because that gets you to look at it objectively instead of from in your feelings. You're looking at it from a view like, okay, if you're buying something, somebody has to be selling it. So why is this person giving me his stock? Or if you're selling it, somebody has to be buying it. So why is this person buying what I'm selling? Does he have a reason? Let me figure out why this person is doing the opposite of what I'm doing, so I can look at this from a bird's eye view instead of so narrowed in. We've gotten so detached that we just believe trading is just, hey, well, I'm just clicking buttons. When it really is, you are buying something that somebody is selling. And you are selling something that somebody is buying. We need to understand, why is this person selling and why is this person buying? Figure out the other person's view, so therefore you can be objective and not have some type of emotional connection to it. I'm getting ahead of myself, but money. And once you detach yourself from this money that we use, instead of it saying, okay, well, this trade is a representation of my intelligence. This trade is a representation of how smart I am. This trade is a representation of how much work I've did. What it says about my character. No, it doesn't. That trade is a vehicle. That trade is a means to an end. That trade is just a resource. That trade is not your intelligence. That trade is not your confidence. It is a trade. It is something you are doing, and if it loses value, okay, it loses value. So what? If it gains value, it gains value. Okay, so what? You are exercising the trade. So solution 2, binary individualizations. Binary individualizations. I said that wrong. Hear me out. Binary invalidations. Jesus Christ. I want to edit that out, but I'm not going to edit it out because this is just one take. Binary invalidations. So what does binary mean? Binary is 2. Binary is yes or no, on or off, up or down. There's no gray. So in binary invalidations, you are basically saying, is it true or is it false? And how you are seeing this, when you are in the trade, continue to ask yourself, this is when you're in it, and you do this with your first system. So ask yourself, if I was not in this trade, would I get in on the same direction at this moment in time? Because every second that you hold, you are basically making the decision to keep buying or keep selling, or what you are making a conscious and unconscious decision to continue doing the same thing in the past decision. And once you understand that we are not We are not shackled by our past decisions. We have free will. We have free will. If you want to get out of that trade, don't fall a victim to sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy tells us that once we have invested time, once we have invested energy, once we have invested intelligence, once we have invested money, we tend to stick to that certain decision that we made previously, even in the face of we not knowing or we feeling that it would be wrong or it could be wrong. So that's why every second that you are in a trade, if it makes a retracement or it makes a move, if you say, would I get in again? If the answer is no, get out, because your body knows that you are wrong, but it is going into ego preservation mode to protect this ego. So now your body doesn't want to tell you you're wrong, so you're staying in the trade and you're hoping the market turns in your favor. I get happy talking about this. Look, solution layer 3, externalize your decision. Externalize it. Don't like I said, we a lot of times we look at these trades from a subjective point of view. You know, like I said, having a bias when you are doing something strengthens the internal identity and that bond to that trade. When you have a bond with the trade, because you know deep down in your heart that is right, you will do everything in your power to defend that decision that you previously made. Now, I'll just touch on this quick, because then you might say, well, why would I get into a trade if I don't feel it's going to work? Why would I get into a trade if I'm not 100% sure that I'm right? Mark Douglas talks about this in his book, Trading in the Zone, that a lot of times the people who first come in have the right type of trading mindset. Their mindset when it comes to trading is that of a novice. You come in and you do trades. You don't know what you're doing. You're just putting on trades because you're not really thinking about anything. And again, Daniel Kahneman, thinking fast and thinking slow, using our intuitions in our fast thinking mind that just analyzes it real quick in order to trade while we're in a live trade. Because once we analyze things, we create an emotional connection to that. And once you have an emotional connection to that, the endowment effect says that once you have an emotional connection to something and you are planning on using it and keeping it, you are not willing to look at the facts that if somebody is paying you the right amount for what you want more for it, or you don't want to sell it for less than you feel it should be. So if you feel it's less, the endowment effect says you're not going to sell it for there because you're waiting for it to go more, because you have an emotional connection. But when you are not emotionally connected, when you have not just thought so deep into it, because everybody knows the market is just a big pool of probabilities. There are no certainties within the market. And anybody tells you there's certainties, the market is full of probabilities. Good trades lose. Bad trades win. It's not about the end. It's not about the outcome. It's about the input. Because over a vast amount of trades, the probabilities of good trades, the bad trades will outweigh each other when you are doing good inputs. And this last solution, post-trade bias audit. The post-trade bias audit is basically journaling, going back, not just, novice traders, they come in and they journal their outcomes. They journal what happened, I got in, I made $600. But great traders, they journal their cognitive performance. Their cognitive performance, what happened, right? They're asking questions. Did I ignore contradicting evidence? Did I reinterpret weakness as busyness within the market? Did I seek validation after my entry? Are you seeking validation after your entry? Are you getting in and looking at some people get in, they might look at other stuff to say, yeah, everything's going up, so mine to go up. You're not sure about that. And hey, I'm keeping this video under 10 minutes, But if you love this, if you want to go deeper with this, hey, drop a comment. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably didn't even stay this long. Drop a comment and we can continue to talk about this on a personal level. Hey, let's keep